What is up, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am Andrew Esquire, and this is the Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge, coming at you from the weather is amazing today. It's clear, it's nice, beautiful Seoul, South Korea. Hope you guys are really doing good out there. And it's good to see all of you in the chat. What is up? Guys, I moved it back a little bit today because I had two potential guests, but both of them had some conflicts. So it's going to be me and you riding out today. And today I'm going to make my prediction on the trial. So I really wanted to wait until not just Amber testified, but until I'd seen some of the follow-up testimony after what happened yesterday. And I think that today was the day of all the days that they had to rehabilitate Amber, right? They had to rehabilitate what happened yesterday. So I'm going to be talking about the testimony, and we're going to review, we are going to watch the whole thing of the only pertinent testimony that I think went down today. We're going to watch that. We're going to discuss that. But good to see you. Okay, so you guys are saying I'm low. Okay, so let me turn up my sound. 1 second. The audio is breaded. That's just, holy shit. Okay, that was really low. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. It's a little better now, guys. So one's in the chat if it's better now. Two's in the chat if I'm still low. Let me know. I can turn it up even more, but this should have fixed the problem. Okay, much better, much better. Okay. All right, guys. See, I was on that low level. I think somebody probably turned me down, and I'm not sure. I think maybe StreamYard saved the setting. Who knows? All right. Good shit. Good shit. Also, what's up, Patrick? What's up, Leanne? Shout out to my members. Good to see you guys in the chat here today. Good to see a lot of my OGs in the chat today. I do not like that Pastor Flash is not pledging. I do not like that. You need to pledge to the church, Pastor. All right. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go over some of my notes. I'm going to go over some things I've written down. I've got like a page full of notes here on the trial. So I'm going to go over that. You know, what is a lawyer without a legal pad? Nobody's a lawyer without a legal pad. I'll tell you that right now, guys. So we're going to go over some notes. I'm going to talk about some of the witnesses, some things I kind of picked up from them. We are just going to discuss the video testimony. That video testimony, I'm saying it right now, that video testimony is liquid fucking sedative. It is directly injected into your eyeballs. It is horribly boring. And when you hear any of the people who've been inside, Ian or DUI guy, anybody else who's been inside, and they always testify that literally the jurors are going to sleep. They are yawning. They are not paying attention. They're tuned out during the video depositions. So I really, honestly, I'm discounting that testimony. There are some things that were said that we'll get into that were like wacky as fuck about those pieces of testimony, but I would not subject you to the torture that is watching the video testimony. Frankly, I'm strongly opposed to video testimony. I think it should be excluded whenever possible. This testimony, this case uses the most video testimony, video depositions that I've ever seen, pretty much ever. I understand why, because people are all over the world. This is an older case. This is something that's been going on for a while, involves celebrities. I get all those factors. However, I hate that testimony. I fucking hate it. I think it should be excluded. I think people should be forced to come in live. I'm sorry. They should be forced to come in live. Period. Then you can cross and get back on them and get to it. But what we are going to watch is we are going to watch all of Amber's sister's testimony. So I'm going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to pick it apart. I'm going to do a live review. So that will happen today. And I'm going to pick apart both the direct and the cross. It's only about 50 minutes, but we're going to pick that apart towards the end here. Also, at the end, I will catch up on some super chats because there were about 5 or 10 super chats from last time that I didn't catch. So I make sure to catch all the super chats. I'm never going to leave you guys hanging with the super chats. And I will answer Rihanna on this one. Why do you think Elon never testified? I don't think Elon is a favorable witness anymore. I'm sorry. I think Elon has converted, and I think Elon does not want to get himself involved with Amber. At all whatsoever. I think at one point they thought that pussy was still going to keep him in tract, but we're seeing a trend, and the trend is for you guys to like and subscribe and support your favorite Florida lawyer, guys. Definitely do that. But no, the trend is that Amber has these friends, and they are her best friends in the world. She love bombs them. She gives them all the attention. She makes them feel great. And then she discards them. She literally discards them, or they run away from her one way or another. She literally attaches quickly and then dumps. That's Amber's MO. And why does she do that? Because people with her personality disorder are eventually discovered. And when people realize who they are and what they are, and that they're not what they thought they are, they get the fuck away from it eventually. By the way, shout out to lawyer, I gave him a little bit of shit because he's from he went to FSU and I went to UF, but no, he's a good guy. I really do like lawyer, I do appreciate that. He's in Tampa, but we're both barred in the state of Florida. I believe we graduated like almost the same year or within 1 year of each other, but we were very close, very close. So yeah, when she said, and Little Binger brought this up, she exhausted her support network and thus she fucked James Franco, you can tell that that's because literally they figured out she was full of shit and they're like, Amber, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. And they got away from her. Pastor Flash, there we go. Paying the alms to the church. Thank you, Pastor Flash. It says video testimony should be played double speed, if at all. They literally put me to sleep. I mean, I said it. If Amber's testimony was 4 neatly placed and staged lines of cocaine, so Amber's cocaine, the video testimony, particularly Rocky, that discount Nick Offerman, fucking budget Khal Drogo, those people were quaaludes. They put you to fucking sleep. They were so boring. Especially, Rocky was extremely painful for me to watch. Extraordinarily. You probably saw me live. I was just zoned out. Everybody was zoned out. And if you guys are zoned out and if you guys are going to sleep, so is the jury. The jury is like bored to tears because they can't go walk off like we can. We can go get a snack. We can walk off. They're stuck there. They don't have an option. So I guarantee you they were bored as shit. I guarantee you that. So just understand, they're having that same reaction that you guys are. The same reaction. All right, so let me get to some of the, actually, let me start, before I do that, let me start with some memes, because you guys actually send me some fucking fire memes. And shout out to everybody who reached out to me on Twitter, which is the right place to reach out to me for any particular memes. But I've got some really good stuff here. There's actually, let me show one that somebody just sent me, which is really disturbing. But I'll get all these guys up for you. Let's see here. Okay, so first of all, here's Whitney's sister. Here's fucking Runkle right here, right down from there. That's fucking hilarious. So this is a good one. This is a good shot here. I think Ian should use this one. This is definitely a good shot. I'll send it over to him in case he doesn't have it, but I'm sure he does. All right, this one's good. Ian Runkle watching people cut the line. Fuck. So good. So good. Very good, guys. I love like the LawTube memes. They make me laugh. They're very funny. All right. Someone sent this to me, which essentially was, and I'm not going to zoom in and read this, but essentially there's a knife attack that she explained that she suffered in 2010-ish. And once again, this is Amber making up stories about shit potentially that happened to her in her life. So you're seeing that she's made up attacks before. Why would she potentially do it again? So thank you for that. Someone sent me this article. Actually, 2 people have sent me this kind of chart for the Sun trial because it is admittedly confusing and there are a lot of different relationships. I'm not going to walk through this. This is something that is available on the internet. You can go and look it up. I can post it too if you want. I'll post it in my locals so you guys have it if you want it. But essentially, you can see the incestuousness of these relationships, including all the parties involved, including the judge. It's very, 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 very weird. It's very weird. So you have a very weird relationship here. You have a lot of times where the law firm is sponsoring events that, all these people are attending, and it's one or two, steps of connection. It's really weird. So Thank you for sending this, but this is a very, very interesting table here to follow and to chart. All right. So for Rocky Pennington, so Rocky was the first witness we saw today. And I just wanted to get out here that both her and her, husband or ex-husband, by the way, not surprised that they're fucking exes. All these people are goddamn psychos. But this is literally the message that Johnny Depp left for Rocky Pennington, to get her moved in. So, hey, brother, so little Rocky may need to move into penthouse 1 tomorrow. By the way, moving in rent-free. 0 rent for a penthouse in LA. Think about that. I don't know if you guys know, but that is insanely expensive. Doesn't sound great. I'm going to have Rocky call you directly. Please treat her like a princess. She is very kind, sweet, fragile, girly. Whatever she needs, brother. Stock her up on good wine, great cheeses, fruit, coffee, etc. You know the drill, pal. I know you'll take good care of her. I'm going to let her live there as long as she wants and needs. Love you, brother, JD. This is the type of shit that she was completely fucking ungrateful for, right? Letting her live there fucking rent-free as long as she wants to do whatever the fuck she wants. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? And then you turn around, you slap somebody in the face. It's bad. It's bad. So Rocky Pennington, another piece of her testimony was the bloody scalp, So once again, this is the bloody scalp or the long bloody hair, This is it. This is the bloody scalp. This is nothing. This is some fucking maybe there's some redness there. I don't see anything. Really looks like a normal crown of a skull. I don't see shit. So Rocky Pennington, I think when we look at her testimony, when we look at what she was saying, I mean, there's nothing there. There was nothing there that jumped out to me from Rocky's testimony. And I was listening to, had some notes on what she said. So Rocky Pennington, she said there was a physical attack. She did say that. She said there was a physical attack. But then she was asked a series of questions. Did you see Johnny Depp hit Amber Heard? She answered no. Did you see her kick Amber Heard? The answer was no. Did you see her throw anything? Him throw anything at Amber Heard? No. So never saw Johnny Depp hit, kick, or throw anything at all, but yet there was a physical attack. It's really weird. It's really weird how that happened. Really weird how that happened. And it seems like there were 2 different Rockies. There was an emotional Rocky, a Rocky that was, crying and tearful, and then a Rocky that turned around and talked about the exact same thing with 0 emotion. And I think that's where she lost a lot of credibility for me. Well, I was right now when she went from crying to totally serious, she lost my credibility. And I know as I see Kathy ask my Twitter. My Twitter is The Legal Mindset. So if you guys want to send me information, if you guys want to send me stuff, send me it now. If you guys send me stuff right now, I have my Twitter up. I always have my Twitter up during the show. If you send me something and I can pull it up and it's not a video, or especially if it's an image, I'll pull it up right away. If you maybe have something to send real quick, I'll look at it, right? I'll look at it. So yeah, twitter.com/The Legal Mindset, The Legal Mindset. Send it over. And look, this is probably why Rocky is, number one, was friends with Amber, because they seem the same disturbed type of person, but also clearly even Rocky distanced herself from Amber eventually. They're no longer BFFs. They're no longer hanging out all the time. That's not happening. Max Mira, 250 yen. Good morning, Kimosabe. Yes, what's up? Good. What's up to my homeboy in Tokyo, Japanistan, trying to avoid any situations over there. It's always tough in Tokyo. All right, guys. So after Rocky, I'll go over the other video testimony because I'm not going to talk about it. So after Rocky, obviously we had the discount Nick Offerman, we had the budget Khal Drogo, the guy who had fucking serious face. He looked like he needed to take a shit, honestly. Like he looked like he was like speaking fast because he needed to poop. Like, but that being said, I don't think he was a credible witness. I don't think he was that believable. He was yet another freeloader off of Johnny. He also played the fake tough guy thing. I would have beat him up, but he wasn't there. It's like, get the hell out of here. Like, I hate that. It's so cringe, and it's so like beta male move. Like, oh, I would go there. I would beat him up, but I didn't. It's like, okay, do or don't. Don't talk shit. Like, just either do it or don't. I think that as people, you should just do things. Don't talk about them. If you're going to do it, do it. But it was some bullshit. I would say right here, Dickie, white knight simp, but except for he wasn't even willing to like fully white knight because he was a pussy. So I just discounted him. I didn't think he was very credible. I think that the acting coach was a little bit problematic because the one thing I will say is like minor, just this is minor. I don't think it was like a critical hit. I think it was just like a little ding, but the acting coach was sober and was nearby when she was hearing like the altercation. But here's the thing, the story is different than Amber's. So at the end of the day, her story doesn't really line up with Amber's story. And because of that, because the acting coach doesn't really line up, I don't really give her testimony much weight. And I noticed with Melanie Iglesias as well, the same issue is that they dropped Amber as a friend. So you have a pattern. You have Io, Rocky, her fucking sister. You have the acting coach. You have Melanie Iglesias, right? All of them really dropped Amber as a friend. They don't hang out with Amber. They're not bros with Amber. All right. So we're going to watch this testimony with Whitney. And I'm going to see after we watch testimony, I will give my prediction on how I think this is going to come out, because that is the title of this video. And I am going to give a prediction because I think that, especially after this testimony, I think that this testimony has to move the needle. So when we watch this, we're really thinking in our mind, is this moving the needle from what we saw yesterday, from this explosive testimony that's still in our mind? It's still like in front and center in our mind. So I'll get to that. I'll get out to all the predictions afterwards. Let me make sure I'm caught up here in the chat. All right, looking good in the chat. All right, guys, please like and subscribe. Guys, it's free, but please don't freeload. Please do not be an Amber turd. All right, so let's go here, and we're going to watch this video. We're going to watch it on a relatively clean stream. So right over here, got it. This is Whitney coming to the stand.
Thank you. All right. Yes, thank you. Will you please state your name for the record?
Whitney Henriquez.
And where do you live?
In Glendale, California.
Glendale. Seen a lot of shit in Glendale. I had an ex who lived near Glendale, and I was in Glendale a lot. That place is kind of a shithole. I'm not gonna lie. Also, the fact that I'm gonna say this real quick.
You're Amber's sister?
I am.
So she's Amber's sister.
Are you?
Okay. So there was a claim that the driver mistook Amber and her sister. There's no fucking way Amber and her sister are getting mistooken. Amber and her sister look totally different. Her sister looks much more tragic compared to Amber. Of course, Amber's gotten work done, of course. But there's a clear fucking difference. Her sister definitely has a bad case of the RBF. You can tell that from the picture with Runkle in the galley. So yeah, definitely not the same. Not that Amber's soulless gaze is better. I'm not saying it's better, but they're very clearly different people.
How old are you?
34.
So you're her younger sister?
Yes.
Okay. Are you married, and do you have any children?
I am. I'm married with 2 small children.
Okay. How old are your children?
I'm surprised
A
she's still
3-year-old
married.
and a newborn. He's just over 2 months old.
What is your profession?
I gotta look up.
the
By the way, I gotta look up her husband. Like, if someone wants to send that to me, like who she's married to, like, because I just want to know who would marry like a fuck up drug user like herself. Because literally, we've already got testimony that she's the one who taught. Amber said she's the one who taught Johnny how to snort coke with the tampon applicator. So.
Pandemic, I worked in hotels doing various food and beverage management jobs, primarily events as well.
Now I'm going to take you to Mr. Depp and Amber, the early stages. When did you first meet Mr. Depp?
I met him sometime in 2011 for the Rum Diary press tour, but I did not meet him until 2012 as Amber's boyfriend.
And were you living with Amber at the time?
Yes, we had an apartment together on Orange Avenue. I split my time between there as well as an apartment I shared with my boyfriend at the time.
Now, describe your relationship with Mr. Depp in the early stages.
We got along really well at first. He was sober at the time, and Johnny, when he's sober, is very bright and beautiful and lovely and kind and generous, and he was very easy to get to know, and frankly, we all fell in love with him at first.
Now, describe your observations of Amber and Mr. Depp's relationship in the early stages.
Again, at first, that was wonderful. They were incredibly in love. I actually, to this day, have never seen my sister fall so madly for somebody. And things were wonderful. They seemed to really understand each other and get along well. But very quickly, this pattern emerged as their relationship went on. That if Johnny was
like she's not really answering the question right now, right? She's kind of like deviating here, and you can tell. I mean, this is where I kind of knew right away. Like I was getting a spidey sense. And also, let me minimize this so I can ask you guys a question because I got to see the chat here real quick. Guys, 1 in the chat if the volume is good, 2 in the chat if it needs to be adjusted. If you put a 2, tell me how it needs to be adjusted. So 1 if the volume's good, 2 if it needs to be adjusted. But when I could see her in the beginning just going off on this tangent, you can tell she's been kind of coached at what to say, that she's rehearsed what to say. Okay, so everyone's saying 1. It's good. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So at this point, I'm already sus. I'm already thinking, okay, what's going on here? How has she rehearsed this? It's too practiced. And I think you're going to see that she's had a lot of time to think about how she answers these questions. She does slip up. She does fuck up. But it's, to me, it got very suspect. Got very, very suspect. All right. Chat's looking good here. All right. Super good in the chat. Oh, and let me catch the super chat real quick. $5 super chat from Jay Liebgott says Whitney in 3. 1, Hicksville, no violence towards the girl, hugging with Amber. 2, the stair incident, Johnny Depp was downstairs. 3, left penthouse because NDA, truth, Amber heard abuse. Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of that, and I think the Hicksville is an important one, and the stair incident, Jay Liebgott who called that out. That is a super important point about Whitney. Because the stair incident definitely varies, right? That's definitely something that's different than Amber. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Jay. So we're going to go into that Hicksville, the stair incident, and the penthouse. All right, back at it, guys.
There almost always was a fight. There was always a
Objection, Your Honor. Cause for speculation, lack of foundation.
All right, as the foundation, if you want to lay
Okay.
foundation.
What, if any, changes in their relationship did you observe?
that when
See, she's taking a lot of time. I mean, I know body language experts going to pick that out. I've like studied body language to a certain extent. You know, I know like the basics, but her body language is not of somebody responding naturally or recalling. It's already seems like she's talking from a story, you know, from a script, from something that she's trained or practiced to say. It just doesn't seem natural.
Johnny was using, there would be a fight. I saw it firsthand.
Objection, Your Honor. Same objection.
Overruled, that's fine.
Thank you. Please continue.
If he was using or if he was drinking, there was almost always a fight. There was always an argument. There was always a period where they weren't getting along, and it seemed to oscillate pretty quickly. He would be sober for a little bit and then almost just as quickly fall off the wagon and start to use or drink, and there would be some big blowout, and it seemed to go back and forth pretty frequently. There was never an extended period of time where it was one or the other.
What, if any, changes did you observe in Amber over the period of her relationship with Johnny?
At first, Amber was Amber. She was loud, fun, funny. She laughed a lot. She was just this happy, bright, fun-loving thing, always surrounded by friends.
Oh God, jeez. I'm calling some bullshit there. Amber was happy and surrounded by friends. That's some grade A bullshit, guys. Jesus. A's in the chat for Amber has no fucking friends and Amber's an asshole. No, I mean, really, seriously, like that I mean, I guess your sister can paint you in a rosy light, right? That's your sister, right? So to a certain extent, your blood is never going to sell you out. And I think that's always something whenever you have any witness that's a relative, you understand it, to a certain extent, relatives are going to back up other relatives. I mean, so if you see a relative like betray a relative, that's usually a bad sign, like a real bad sign. Of course, there can be bad blood between families, especially if like you don't like somebody. For example, there's members of my family. I'll say I got some in-laws that I am not a big fan of. Let me put it that way. So yeah, of course, they might be able to find somebody in your extended family that doesn't like you, or in your family that doesn't like you. But I mean, this sort of backing up her sister and painting her sister in this light, I don't think this moves the needle or convinces anybody, including the jury.
And then it was a progression that took over such a long period of time, and it was so slow. In hindsight, it was like watching a slow motion gunshot. She suddenly stopped sleeping as much. She wasn't as funny. She wasn't as loud. She wasn't as gregarious as she used to be. Cut to the end of their relationship, she was so physically unwell. She maybe weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. She was emaciated. She wasn't sleeping. She had developed a heart condition and her eyes were sunken in. She just looked
Objection,
like
Your
two
Honor.
different.
Lack of foundation calls for hearsay.
She's giving her observations.
Well, heart condition, I'll sustain as to heart.
Okay,
condition. Thank you.
other than the heart condition, please continue.
If you were to do a photograph side by side, you would see two very different people.
Would you now?
And
Where are those side-by-side photographs?
that knew her throughout the entirety of their relationships, all the same thing.
Really? Because we haven't heard much testimony to that. I mean, we've heard a couple of her simps, but that's pretty much it in terms of other neutral people who are not involved in this describing her one way versus the other.
What, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp exhibiting controlling behavior over the course of their relationship relating to Amber's clothing?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
What, if any, observations
I'll
did she
sustain
make
the objection.
about,
I'll sustain the objection.
what, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp's treatment of Amber relating to clothing?
At first,
That's still fucking leading, but whatever. You just let her. At some point, you just let her move on because you wanted to get through this. But really, Elaine fucking sucks. Like, Elaine is so bad. She's so bad. I know that people have pointed out on her website, on Elaine's website, she literally says that she's settled most of her cases. Her success is in settling, which is probably true. In most civil cases, they settle, right? They don't go to court. So I'm not surprised if Elaine has almost no trial experience. I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked at all. Elaine is a horrible trial attorney. And I'll just say it. She's fucking garbage. Literally, I could draft any law student and throw them in there and they'd probably do better than Elaine. This is real bad.
it would be like light jokes, or, she left the house wearing something like, oh, you're going to wear that, or just some joke. It was very subtle, and then over time, again, just like the progression of their relationship, it just intensified. Then suddenly it's, they have the same stylist. He and I forgot her name, but suddenly they have the same stylist, and he had been essentially controlling what she wore to events and things like that. So she went from being able to wear whatever the hell she wanted, and then suddenly she's wearing anything that his stylist wanted her to wear. Or wanted him.
She acted like it's fucking goddamn Handmaid's Tale. She's asking okay, you're gonna wear this fucking burqa when you go out, woman. That was never true. You literally saw all the dresses Amber was wearing. She was still dressing like a hoe, regardless. I think this is the worst type of statement, and it goes with this. They're trying to push this into this Duluth model, this male control, this sort of thing. I mean, it doesn't really add up. It doesn't line up. Johnny does not seem like a guy who really gives a shit like that. This is a guy who's smoking weed and doing drugs, we all believe that Johnny was doing drugs, right? He doesn't seem like the type of guy who's controlling like that level of controlling. Now it does seem like he would shame Amber for being a hoe and for trying to use the power of her pussy to control men, as we've seen proof that she does. She did it to Elon Musk. She did it to James Franco. She does it to everybody. She, did it to her orbiters, like Io Till It Right. trying to get them in her orbit with her sexuality. But this whole Handmaid's Tale shit, I'm not buying it. I'm really not buying this. It's not convincing to me.
To wear, and her style over time just got more and more conservative.
What, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp
God forbid you be conservative in LA.
with respect to Amber's work?
That too was one thing. At first, he was saying he was protective over the kinds of jobs she was taking. Oh, that's not going to be good for her career. That's not going to be good for this, not going to be good for that. And then suddenly he has a problem with her taking any sort of job or any sort of audition. And then
that's gotta be bullshit. But I mean, okay, I don't want you to work and become my house waifu. I really don't believe that. I don't believe that of most men in 2022 in general. Certainly not of Johnny Depp. But I literally, that's not a believable narrative. It's just literally not a believable narrative that it's saying, oh, you can't work. It's very rare to hear that for a person who's in Amber Heard's position, especially. It's just not, it's not like she's, with child, and trying to work, and the husband's like, well, honey, you're 8 months pregnant. You should probably stay home. No, she's a regular person. I'm just not believing that.
Every time that she even thought about taking a meeting, it was another fight. He would often say things like, I don't even understand why she needs to work. I'll take care of her. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of everyone else. She doesn't need to work at all. It was one of those things that he was, at the end, vehemently against her working at all.
I think she's probably saying that more for the divorce trial, right? This is more about the divorce proceeds and the money that Amber got, because she's probably committed on that front at some point, in terms of Amber and what she got and how much she settled for. I think that plays more to the divorce than here. It sounds incredulous here.
Observations did you make about Mr. Depp's treatment of Amber with respect to friends?
Again, these are all things that just very slowly over time just changed. At first, he was very inclusive of all of us. At one point, we all lived downtown together in these beautiful lofts. At first that was part of the relationship, was getting to know him and him getting to know us. And then just, again, slowly over time, he took issue with Brandon at one point, and then Brandon wasn't allowed in the fold. Time went on, he had an issue with Io. Io wasn't allowed in the fold anymore. And then at some point,
I think she's saying him instead of her, because eventually she drove off all those people. So once again, this seems like it's, as with Amber, it's like projection. It's kind of like swapping out Amber for Johnny. It's weird.
He had accused me of doing something horrendous that I had never done. And then suddenly I'm not allowed around anymore. And just over time, she had such a small network of people that were there to support her. It was hard to watch.
What, if any, observations did you make about Mr. Depp's attitude or treatment of Amber with respect to her health?
Amber was a pretty healthy person at first. She didn't have any medical issues that, didn't need intervention.
Except for the cocaine use.
But in one of Johnny's attempts to get sober, he had employed Dr. Kipper, who had these nurses. And he had a personal nurse that would administer medication. And, I think the intention was to make sure that he stayed clean. And
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Without discussing
That's
what
not
the
my objection.
intentions were, just go ahead and give us what your observations were with respect to Mr. Depp with respect to Amber's health.
Sure. All of a sudden, for really unclear reasons, Amber had her own
She shouldn't have
personal
even.
nurse
She didn't even
to
said the
administer
fucking reasons. She knew it's you're whatever. Don't say that.
medication. And from what I saw, it was strange. I didn't think Amber needed, medication on the daily or whatever. And then all of a sudden she has a therapist that is employed by Dr. Kipper. Even her medical treatment was somehow controlled by or paid for by Johnny.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation with respect to the control.
As to control, we paid for it. I'll allow. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. I mean, yeah, they can pay for it, but even if they pay for it, doctors, medical staff, lawyers, right? We have duties to our individual clients, patients, etc. So we still have fiduciary duties. We still have duties, ethical duties to somebody. So if a doctor is treating Amber and treating Johnny, they have separate ethical duties. They can't violate their ethical duties to Amber on behalf of Johnny. That's not something a doctor could do. And we've seen from the doctor's testimony that it seems like he was doing what's in the best interest of both of them. The problem is that it's hard to be in Amber's best interest because she has serious psychological problems that require high doses of medication.
Thank you. What, if anything, did Mr. Depp say about Amber's electronic devices?
Well,
Get off Tinder, ho. No, I'm joking, guys.
every time they fought or had an argument, a device was going to get smashed. And she lost a phone, a tablet, a computer. You could almost guarantee that.
Have we seen any proof of this? I mean, any entered into evidence? Whatever. But I mean, that's one point I thought of immediately here.
Something would get destroyed when they fought. Very often there were fights were at least in part surrounded by text messages or something that he would find on her phones or, whatever. And at some point she wasn't even allowed to have passwords on her phone, or if she did have a password, it was something really simple.
I'm
that
calling bullshit.
He memorized, but there was zero expectation of privacy for her in terms of what was on her device or accessibility of her devices.
I'm calling bullshit.
How many times did you observe Mr. Depp drunk?
Countless. I mean, too many times for me to quantify.
How many times did you observe Mr. Depp high on drugs?
Again, it would be really hard to put a number to that. It was a lot.
And what types of drugs did Mr. Depp use, to your knowledge and your observation?
Well, I've done cocaine and drank with him on a number of occasions.
She's admitting this is huge, guys. So hold on. Let's pause here for a second. Let me make sure I catch up in the chat. But this is huge. She's literally admitting here. She's admitting that she's done drugs. So this is one clear thing. No, she does it again. But this is one clear thing where if somebody is admitting that they have a history of drug use, and your entire case is based around the fact that people who use drugs are evil and they're horrible and they're abusers and they're not worthy of belief, right? It doesn't bode well. It really doesn't bode well for your case at all to have somebody as a witness who's saying, hey, yeah, I'm a user. I did coke, but let me tell you how bad Johnny is when he's inebriated. But I'm sniffing the white powder. It's very, 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 very hypocritical. All right, so I'm gonna catch you super chats. Thank you, Bessie, for the super sticker. Gunham says, why would they assume all her choices were all good? Yeah, that's a good assumption. These people don't have good intentions. Paulina says the problem with JD is that he's a womanizer. He went from one lady to another until that bit him in behind. He's no saint, but that doesn't mean a wife beater. Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing, Paulina, and this is a great comment. People are not black and white. People are gray. We all make mistakes. Guys, I make mistakes too. I'm not a perfect fucking person either. I make mistakes. I do things I shouldn't do. But here's the difference between a good person and a bad person. In my opinion, ethically. Number one, do you live by a personal code? Do you live by something that you follow your code and you follow your principles, and you're a person who has principles and you follow them, right? Whatever they are. You can define those for yourself, but do you follow those? But second of all, do you think about what you've done, and do you take responsibility for what you've done? And now maybe you've done something, you don't care about it, and you're going to say, yeah, I did that. I don't care about it, but I did it, right? You own it. Amber doesn't do that. She never takes responsibility. That's why I know Amber is on a whole different scale. Johnny kind of owns it. He owns it. And yeah, he does drugs. And yeah, he's been with a lot of women. Frankly, I think I wouldn't call him much of a womanizer. He's not like a Leonardo DiCaprio as much as he is. He falls in love easily. I think Johnny falls in love with these women easily. I truly believe that Johnny is he goes from woman to woman and he gets entranced by them. And he enters into these very passionate relationships, but they don't last long because Johnny is a hurt person. He had a hard childhood and he's trying to heal some of those childhood wounds. So, but thank you, Paulina. There's definitely a lot of truth to that. Lies Truth Lies Opinion says, if the freeloaders didn't like it, get the fuck out. He's the king of his castle. He paid for everything so he can break it. You know, Paul, I totally agree with this, but here's the problem, guys. This is the law. And let me explain this to you guys. In a domestic violence situation, let's use this as a good example. Let's say that Johnny and Amber are at home in a domestic violence situation. If somebody calls, there's a law called mandatory arrest. And under that rule, they have to remove somebody from the situation, at least remove them. Now, Johnny has multiple homes, so he can just be removed to another home. He can go somewhere else. That's actually an easy solution for Johnny. But let's say you lived with Amber and you only had one apartment, and Amber calls on you, or some neighbor calls on you for domestic violence of Amber. Well, if you only had one place, guess where you're going? That's right, jail. You might be able to go to a hotel, but usually you're going to go to jail. It's a real problem with a lot of our laws, especially in states that have mandatory arrest. It's a principle that not a lot of people have heard about, but it really is damaging, especially to men in these situations, because the factors that they use to determine whether they haul somebody off are their physicality of the person, how big they are, their size, et cetera, et cetera. All right, let me catch this. Leo DiCaprio doesn't like women. Well, you know, he certainly likes them enough to be seen with them. Ashna says, I've graduated law school in the UK. Oh, awesome. And have been called to the bar. We've been trained to be impartial, but even I can tell that Amber Heard is liable. Well, awesome, Ashna. Hey, congratulations on the UK. I know in the UK, there's a difference between barrister and solicitor. Those are two different jobs. So I'd be interested to hear which one you are, barrister, solicitor. But shout out to my UK people. I really appreciate that you're tuning in. I think it's kind of late there. So thank you for tuning in a little late. But yeah, she definitely is somebody that comes off as liable, just comes off as straight liable, period. And somebody who's not a credible witness. She loses credibility. Erica says, these people are grifters and we're using. Amber is her sister with plastic surgery. Trash is always trash. Well, that is very true. If you have a character that's bad, that character is not going to get repaired. Johnny was not going to save Amber. That was never going to happen, ever. Katarina said, obviously the freeloaders, they cannot tell the truth. Everything she says sounds like she's talking about Amber Heard. What do you think the verdict may be? I don't think the jury is stupid. Hit the like button. So guys, I'm going to give the verdict after we finish running through this testimony. We've only got, I'm going to do about maybe 30 more minutes max of the testimony. And then we're going to do the verdict. And I'm going to talk about my verdict prediction because I am set. I think this one is, in my opinion, the verdict is a lock, but there's one part of the verdict that may be up in the air, but we'll get to that. But to me, based on Johnny's claim and the counterclaim, I think the verdict is a lock here. I'm very confident. I'm in the 90s on confident right now. That's how high I am based on all the information we have to date. Down here, got one more that just popped in. Young says, what are the testimonies that are particularly bad for Johnny Depp today? Will Johnny Depp's team be able to counter it? I think I talked about this before. I think that the video testimony sucked. I think it sucked. It was not good. It was really not good. And I think that the only thing that was damaging, there was some little minor parts. The minor parts that were bad were the acting coach because she's kind of a sober individual and she heard the fight, so it does give some credibility there. But honestly, there's all these negatives that make them uncredible witnesses. For Rocky and for the ex-husband, they're freeloaders. And they're, associates of Amber Heard. They're her simps. They're her lackeys. They're her toadies. Same as Io. They're like in her orbit. Of course, they're going to say things that benefit Amber. But here's the thing. All of their stories contradicted Amber's story. And this is the story about all of them. The acting coach, Melanie Iglesias, Rocky, the ex-husband, all of them, every single one of them, and Io too from yesterday, all of them have slightly different stories than Amber. Their stories do not line up. They're different stories. Amber's story is way more exaggerated than all of their stories, way more immediate. So that's where I think they differ. So far, I think there's some testimony from Whitney. I'm not going to spoil what we're going to get to because we're going to watch a little testimony that I think is a little ding, but we'll get to it. There is a ding here coming up in the testimony. You're going to see that, Young, so stay tuned. I think somebody asked where I'm barred. So I'm a member of the Florida bar. So I am a Florida attorney, but I practice a lot of federal law. I practice a lot around the United States. I've served as corporate counsel for major corporations. So I've served for, I can say I've been counsel for Universal Studios, also major like Fortune 500 companies in the United States. So I have been behind the scenes. Now, I do not do trials. However, as part of my job, I've done risk mitigation, and I've done that, and I work closely with trial counsel. So I know the issues that come up, the issues that are big. I've kind of seen these from behind the scenes, and I have a really weird angle that not a lot of people have, seeing what companies and individuals think is important behind the scenes. To us and to a lot of corporations and high net worth individuals, to go to trial is a loss. And you see why going to trial is a loss, because at this point, there's two victories. There's the verdict, which I'm going to talk about, and there's the public opinion. Amber Heard has lost in the court of public opinion. And this is why individuals who are high net worth and corporations do not go to court. It makes you look bad. You settle. You get discovery that's going to bring up some shit that looks bad. There is something in your life that will make you look bad. That's the truth of trial. That's why people do not go to trial. That's why they settle. You don't do it because each side gets a chance to ding the other, and it's no good for either. This is not great for Johnny Depp, but it's way worse for Amber Heard. I think that Johnny Depp is going to become hireable after this. He definitely already is. Dior Sauvage has been sold out. They've been doing great because of Johnny Depp. I think that, hell, I'm for Johnny Depp and Aquaman 3. Let's fucking do it, guys. But Amber Heard going to be unemployable after this. Tira says, remember, JD had the birding, not Amber Heard. JD was saying that he doesn't black out and he goes to sleep. Let's not act like the man is owning up to his drug alcohol like he said in 13. No, I agree. Look, I'm not saying that that Johnny doesn't do drugs. He definitely does. What I'm saying is, I think that's not as big of a deal. Let me just put it this way. I don't think drugs in Hollywood is as big of a deal as Amber's team is making it out to be. They're making it out to be like something that's absolutely horrible. I grew up in Miami, guys. I'm going to tell you straight up. I saw drugs on a regular basis, like a regular basis. It was normal. I mean, for us in Miami, right? In South Florida, growing up in the 2000s, there's lots of fucking drugs. Like, so to me, a lot of this behavior is normalized. They're talking about MDMA. Let thee without sin cast the first stone. Everybody nowadays who's Amber's age, I mean, the sister is 34. If you're 35, 34, in your late 20s, whatever, you've gone to any concert, festival, whatever, you've seen drugs. Come on, let's just be real about this. Let's have real talk here. Because this, on my channel, I give you the facts, not just the law, but I give you the real facts, and I don't bullshit. Right? Let's all be honest with each other. Let's just be real. Let's just have a good conversation. Talk about reality. The reality is everybody's doing drugs. Let's just talk about that nowadays. It doesn't make you a horrible person. Let's actually prove the facts. Let's actually prove the facts of the case. Yeah, exactly. So Paul's saying ultra anybody. Exactly. Go to ultra once. You will see more drugs than Johnny Depp had in his baggie, right? More than that baggie of weed. Even though that was a big bag of weed, I will say that. You don't need to be a lawyer to join the Roppongi bar. Oh, Max Mura. I need to get over there to Roppongi in Tokyo very soon. Lightgiver says, I read Jennifer Howell's declaration. This was the woman Whitney was living with. Her declaration destroys Whitney's testimony. Can they use this? So someone's going to send me over that declaration, and I'm going to take a read of it. So I will bring that one up. Tonight, my time, which is tomorrow morning, you guys' time before tomorrow's day of testimony. So I will bring up this Jennifer Howell's declaration. I'm going to read this and bring this up. If it's possible for them to enter into evidence, they probably would have done it. It could be coming on redirect. We don't know. Remember, when they do a light cross, when there is a cross that they don't go super hard, it may be because they get a redirect, and redirect is like a better cross. They get to frame it the way they want to frame it. They don't have to get the witness to say what they want to say. They can bring it up on redirect and destroy it, which I think it may be coming for some of these witnesses. Question, will a jury focus on justice rather than the law? Her lies are so violent, she should go to jail. But, well, remember, Erica, jail is not an option here. This is a civil case, so jail is not here. So jail is not an option. But in a defamation case, at this point, it is presumed that both sides have a chance to succeed on the merits, that the law can allow either side to prevail. And because of that, the burden, honestly, a lot of lawyers focus on the legal burdens and stuff like that. Frankly, that's not how juries think. That's not how reality sets in. Juries are going to pick the people they like the best. And the juries are heavily favoring one side. Everyone who's in the court has told a consistent story about who they're favoring. We'll get into that. Let's see. Let me get these last two. I'm a barrister, and yeah, it is quite late. Hey, well, thanks for sticking up with us, Ashna. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on getting barristered. Fun fact, in law school at UF, our law school prom was called Barrister's Ball. The first time I went, I did not have a date, but I ended up in a weird way, in a weird happenstance, meeting with this girl, and she's now like one of the best attorneys in South Florida, like one of the best civil litigators. We ended up having a very good night together. It was a good night. So I was like, you know what? That night convinced me. I'm like, maybe I should start going to these things stag. Of course, the next year I made the mistake of actually having a girlfriend. But, you live and you learn, guys. You live and you learn. All right. Let me see here. Abju, thank you so much. Back to defamation. With all of Amber Heard's testimony of alleged domestic violence, sexual abuse, who else would she be referring to in the op-ed? Here's the thing. There's nobody else. Amber Heard, her testimony yesterday, thank you so much, Adi. Her testimony yesterday puts out there. She pretends that her statements weren't about Johnny Depp. The timelines don't add up. She's never alleged any domestic violence, sexual abuse, or anything against anybody other than Johnny Depp. It is disingenuous to say that it wasn't about Johnny Depp. We all know it's about Johnny Depp. It's clearly about Johnny Depp. Amber Heard trying to wiggle out of it is preposterous. The jury did not buy that. That's why they were looking at Camille yesterday. They were looking at Camille. They were focused on Camille. They weren't even making eye contact with Amber. That was real bad for her when she was trying to pretend that was not about her. It was clearly about her. It is interesting that they're saying the same thing. Sure, he yelled through stuff, drank drugs, never saw him hit her, and then she wants to meet former friends before their depos. Yeah, it's weird, right? It's like, hey, let's have a get-together right before your deposition to make sure you're going to say what we need you to say. Kind of ridiculous. Sandy, thank you so much for that super chat there. All right. I think, here we go. Ibrahim says, did the acting coach really say Amber cannot cry and shed tears when she's acting? What side is she on? Guys, first of all, that's not a fucking thing. Like, no, I mean, Amber's a psycho, so it's hard for her to have real human emotion, right? She's histrionic. She's borderline. It's difficult. She's, hot, cold, a lot of different emotions, but they're all kind of fake at the core. But I think the acting coach, it wasn't convincing. There's a little ding there with the acting coach, but I don't think the acting coach sold it. And frankly, here's the thing. The video evidence is boring. It's boring to tears. It's hard for all of us to follow. Guys, any of the streams, whether you're watching Rakeda, Legal Bites, Emily D. Baker, everybody was having trouble with that. And we're lawyers who are like, we're trying to grift off of it. We're literally, everybody is focused on this. Everybody is like trying to pay attention to this, right? And despite all of our focus, all of our care, all of our really excitement, we're all excited about this, and we are struggling to stay awake. That's really bad because the jurors give way less of a shit about this. Like, if we give a shit up here, the jurors give a shit down here. Brandon says, Amber lost, in my opinion, with every bit of audio that was played. Yeah, every bit of actual audio where she's speaking makes her look really, really bad. Hannah says, Amber's case has done nothing but prove that Johnny does drugs, which he is very honest about. So what's the case? Yeah, there really isn't a case about doing drugs. It's just not, it's not a thing. This is not a possession case. This isn't criminal court where you're trying to prove whether Johnny smoked weed or not. That's not at play here. And people get confused at what's at play here. Some people, especially the Amber Heard people, they think this is a criminal trial. I've also had a lot of these Amber Heard stands, they will come up and say, oh, well, Johnny lost the Sun trial against Amber. And I go, no, or lost the UK trial. They'll say, Johnny lost the UK trial against Amber. And I'll say, no, that trial had nothing to do with Amber directly. It was the Sun. It was Johnny suing the Sun, a UK periodical. So, yeah, I mean, Amber hasn't won anything yet, and frankly, hasn't proven her own innocence here yet. Brawley Power Maximum says, all it takes is one naive chump and no defamation. And you know they're out there because many have learned the hard way, myself once, to be fair. Yeah, you know, I will say this, though. People are learning and getting wise to this. And when people see a narcissist and a liar like that, they are turned off. They are turned off, like extremely turned off to that person, whether they're a man or a woman. 3 things Rocky and Io have in common. They were told and they never saw anything. Interesting. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And they lost a lot of the hearsay objections because they're just hearing things, right? Got that one already. And here we go. Oh, Chelsea says, what's up, Chelsea? Amber is not friends or has any people in her life anymore. Does the jury recognize a pattern? The makeup artist left her, Rocky too, Io too. All of them left her. All of them abandoned her. This is a pattern of behavior. And I think it's clear. I mean, to the jury, it should be crystal clear that none of these people hang out with Amber anymore. Google Jennifer Howell declaration will come up. Okay, I actually was sent it, so I have it. I will review it for tomorrow. So guys, I promise you, Jennifer Howell's declaration, I will bring it up. I will talk about it tomorrow. I think that it doesn't probably change the needle in terms of what we see in terms of evidence. But let's get back into the testimony here, guys.
That he almost always had weed of some sort, marijuana, like, you know,
once
joints
again,
or whatever.
Trying to make the drugs a thing.
I have seen him take MDMA on an occasion, shrooms as well. I once saw him consume a Ziploc bag that had a bunch of just unknown pills, some prescriptions, some not. He just took them all at once to see what would happen, and he laughed about it.
That's speculation, but okay.
Those are what I can recall.
Also,
Okay. Now, you said that you also did cocaine with Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes.
okay, so
What,
she
if
did
any,
coke.
observations did you
allegedly.
make as to what Mr. Depp carried in his pockets?
Well, he always had cigarettes or rolling papers. When I say cigarettes, I mean the tobacco and rolling papers.
Is it a crime to
He
smoke
always had
cigarettes? Get the fuck
a
out.
joint on him. If he was in a phase
Also,
of using coke,
joints
he would carry
legal
around
in-
a little
illegal
pill
in
box
California.
that had his cocaine in it. He always had a pocket knife.
Legal, totally legal.
Lighter.
Totally
and,
legal.
Yeah, it's about what I can recall.
Okay. What, if any, behavior changes did you observe when Mr. Depp had been drinking alcohol or using drugs?
Like I said, it was, a completely different version. He was almost unrecognizable when he was drinking and using to an excess. If it was alcohol and coke, he would slur. He would go on these paranoid, delusional rants about things that didn't make any sense. His speech would be slurred. I almost never knew him to use cocaine without drinking. Those were generally combined. When he would smoke weed, he was much more relaxed. He was kind of what you would expect, happy on a couch, laughing. But when he was drinking, he would just get very angry. And he would just say really nasty, unkind things. And it almost didn't, usually about Amber, sometimes about me, but it almost didn't matter if she was in the room or not. He would just say really horrible, horrible, horrible things about her or to her.
Can you give the jury a few examples that you can recall?
Pardon my language, fucking cunt. He called her a fucking
Well, no lies detected there, guys.
used up trash bag.
No lies detected there. Used up trash bag. Very accurate for Amber Heard. Sorry, not sorry.
Slimy whore, saggy
Facts.
whore.
Facts.
Just, fucking cunt was thrown out a bunch.
I mean,
Just
look,
horrible things like
not everybody's Australian, but I say, and look, I don't use that phrase lightly, not lightly at all. But in Amber's case, I'll allow it.
that.
I'm going to take you to March 21st, 2013. We've called it the painting or Keith Richards incident. When did you arrive at the Orange apartment on March 21st, 2013?
It was sometime in the afternoon. I came in and Orange was typically a very neat, clean place. But as soon as I walked in, there was smoke in the air. Remember, it smelled like cigarette smoke and there was smoke in the air. So somebody had been smoking inside, which was odd because Amber and I don't smoke. And Johnny used to always just go outside to smoke. But walking a little bit further in, there was like furniture askew. Going into the kitchen, there was, Johnny was sat at our little breakfast nook table that we had there. And he was wearing glasses. He had, there was cocaine in front of him. There was booze in front of him.
Of course, booze.
Journal, like no newspaper, things like that, just kind of scattered around.
Just casual.
At the table. And I sat down to talk to him to see what was going on. And it was really hard to understand what he was getting at. It was really clear that he had been drinking for some time. His speech was slurred. And again, it was really hard to follow what he was trying to tell me. At first, he seemed to be upset that my sister had been photographed with our friend Marie in France. He then started saying that it must have meant that she was having an affair with her and, everyone would be laughing at her. And this woman, her father was a French politician. So he then starts rambling on about, he knows what her father's up to and her this, that, and the other. And again, it was just this strange paranoid tailspin is the only way I can describe it. It wasn't true. My sister wasn't having an affair with this person.
Objection, Your Honor.
She probably was at least banging him, though. I mean, I'll allow that.
Pretty non-responsive at this point.
All right, next question. Please sustain the objection.
Please describe what your conversations were and your observations were with Mr. Depp.
So as I'm sitting there talking to him, Amber is in the kitchen and, she's not sat at the table or anything. She's kind of hanging back and Johnny's still talking to me about what the problem was. And then all of a sudden the focus shifts to this painting that has been on the wall ever since Amber and I moved in. And the painting was done by one of my sister's exes. So he was convinced that it was on the wall.
Lisa painting. Oh, got it.
To taunt him, to tease him, and how disrespectful that he had to wake up next to this painting. And it surely meant that Amber and Tasha were back together again, which
Tasha.
of course was not true. But he was then upset about that. He was upset about this painting that was on the wall.
Well, let me say this real quick, guys. I mean, it's kind of different couples have different takes on it, right? So I've met couples where both of them mutually agree that, there's two different stances. Are you okay with your partner, whether it's a male or female, right? And you guys tell me in the chat how you feel about this, right? One's in the chat, if you're okay with your partner, whether it's a guy or girl, whatever, their girlfriend or boyfriend, right? Girlfriend or boyfriend, right? Because we're not acknowledging any IO situations here, right? Whether your girlfriend or boyfriend, if you're okay with them keeping your ex's stuff, let's say keeping pictures of an ex, keeping the Instagram posts of their ex, social media posts, objects, gifts. Are you okay with it? Put a 1 in the chat if you're okay. 2 in the chat if on some level you're not okay. Because I feel like the majority of people fall into more of the 2 category, but there are people in the 1 category that don't care. But I feel like the 2 category people are not okay is a little bit more dominant. I'll play this for real for a second, and I'll check the result of you guys in the chat.
I was trying to talk to him not only to just try to figure out what was going on, but I was trying to get him out of the house because he was already very late for filming this documentary that was being shot at one of his houses.
Was that with Keith Richards?
Correct.
Okay.
That was my understanding of it.
Please continue.
So for hours we sat there. I was trying to, talk to him, make him feel like everything was okay, just try to get him out of the house. His assistant kept coming in and out at one point.
Did you do cocaine with him?
While Amber is just in the kitchen. She's like giving us space, but she's in earshot and he's saying these things.
I literally do not believe that Amber is giving anybody space ever. I will never believe that claim. That is complete bullshit.
About her. And at one point she tries to come over to check on him and she kind of embraces him.
I don't fucking believe that for 2 seconds. You're painting her out to be this like nice little kind housewife who no, this is not the Amber we've seen in court. This is the problem, is that people believe what they see with their own eyes. In court, literally yesterday, you saw how Amber is a frigid, self-serving bitch. She literally walked out of the courtroom before even letting the jury leave. That's something that is not done at all, ever. Just walk out, not stand, respect the jury. She was told by the judge to go sit by her attorneys, and she just fucking fled. She ran out of the room. I mean, this is not lining up with this version of Amber here that's so caring and compassionate. When you have two totally different stories of who the person is that don't line up with the literal reality you've seen, the haughtiness, the fact that Amber, you see her, she looks, her gaze is always up, her nose is always upturned. It's this haughty arrogance, the self-servingness. It doesn't line up with this. You're making Amber into some saint, which just conflicts with reality. It does not show with reality here.
From behind, and he's just like, fuck off, and continues to say these things about her. And again, we sat there forever.
Although I will say this, it is possible that Amber could pretend to be like that in front of her sister to create a story. That is possible. I would entertain that. And
eventually we did get him to leave the house. So but he insisted that Amber come to, and that if they were going to work it out, she'd have to be there, and they would talk about it at some other point, I guess.
Let me just stop you for a minute. What, if any, injuries did you observe on Amber at that time?
What, if any?
At the time, it was before I had a real understanding of what was going on. It was pretty, I didn't know, frankly. And her face was swollen, but I didn't, and it was kind of red. I thought she had just been crying.
There you go.
And her lip did appear to be cut.
That's pretty accurate.
Again, that at the time, that wasn't what we were trying to do. It wouldn't have been appropriate to
Her lip was cut.
talk to her about it or anything. That wasn't my focus, frankly. My focus was just sitting there trying to figure out what he
Was it a cold sore?
upset about and get him out of the house.
So how long were you at Orange with Mr. Depp and Amber before he left to go to the Keith Richards?
A few hours. I couldn't say, maybe around like 4 or 5 hours. It took a minute.
Now, did you accompany Mr. Depp over to the recording, or did you stay?
I did.
And did
Amber-
Amber go too?
Correct. That was part of the condition of him leaving, is that Amber had to go with us.
All right. Well, please describe to the jury what happened next then on your ride over there.
So Amber and Johnny were sitting in the back. I was in the front with Sterling, the driver. And
who allegedly confused the two.
Back there was music playing pretty loudly, so I couldn't really hear what was going on back there. But at some point I heard the back door open, or the back window open, and Johnny is holding our dog out the window.
Oh, this one here is a real attempt to attack. This is some real bullshit.
I froze. I was scared because I just remember thinking, I knew how inebriated he was, and the dog was very small. I thought if she twitched, or if he lost her somehow, she was just going to go out the window. And Amber, of course, was just saying,
Objection, Your Honor.
Not often to prove the truth of the matter asserted, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Don't say what
Suck it
Amber
away.
said. Just go ahead and continue with your observations.
he brought the dog back into the car, and he was just laughing, this really scary, loud, like it was almost like a cackle.
Literally Johnny Depp cackling. Like, first of all, okay, let me stop this right here to talk about this animal abuse shit. Okay, guys, who the fuck is believing this shit? Because that is like unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. That she would act like that. It's extremely unbelievable. And by the way, 7,000 of you in the chat, please hit the like button if you like this comment. If you like these type of reviews, it helps me know that you guys enjoy this. It's completely unbelievable. I would believe that Amber did it. That's very true. I would not believe that Johnny Depp did that cackling like an evil person. The only person who we've heard cackling is Amber Heard on that video. Remember that demonic video we reviewed where she's cackling? She's like, ha, 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 suck my dick. Amber sounds evil. She sounds demented in that. The only person who cackles is Amber, not Johnny. Whitney looks older and more drugged than sleeping Johnny. Yeah, if you know anything about drugs, you can tell that Whitney has definitely, without a doubt, done some drugs. And here's the thing: Whitney's at least admitting to it. Whitney's at least saying, "Yeah, I've done some drugs with Johnny. I've done coke." You know, at least she's admitting to it. Frastange says, for all the drugs Johnny Depp did, I don't see how it can compare to Amber Heard's $20K a month booze addiction. That's $1 million a year. She needed the money. Yeah, alcohol is just as potentially damaging. It's just as potentially damaging as drugs, right? It's real bad. So, I mean, that's expensive wine. Come on, that's a real problem. What do you think of the makeup artist testimony? I don't think it's honestly the makeup artist testimony. It didn't really seal it for me. First of all, no one's going to convince me that, Amica cream and ice are miracle cures to a broken nose. There's no way. The reality is the after effect, right? So you're covering up all these bruises. Not really. Also, the makeup artist, I believe, brought up the point about bruise kits being for creating bruises, which is what I had a makeup artist on, and she literally said, when you say bruise kit in the industry, in the makeup industry, when you say bruise kit, that means something to fake a bruise. I literally think that Amber Heard had a slip up, just like the TMZ incident. Remember the TMZ where she accidentally said it was leaked to TMZ and she knew that? Yeah. Exact same thing. I think. I mean, so in that case, I think this was a slip up on her part. I think she actually used makeup to fake a bruise. Okay, so we had a poll here on whether you guys were okay with people keeping your ex's stuff. I saw by and large twos. Now, there were some ones, but by and large, there were twos. So the twos seem to have won it. And Don's like, no, not just no, but hell no. Mitzi says 1, but I'll act like it's a 2. Well, that's the thing. Maybe it's and say, are guys more 1s or 2s? I think guys are 2s. Look, if it's typically with me, 9 times out of 10, I'm not okay with it. But if it's innocuous and it's something that doesn't have their name on it, it's like a generic thing. Like, let's say like an ex gave him an umbrella and it's like there's nothing, no markings on it or whatever. I'm not going to be like, yo, throw that out. Like, I'm not insecure like that. But if it's something that's like personalized, then I might be like, all right, yeah, we need to talk about this. Because I don't keep stuff like that. Like if it's a memento that's carved out by them, that's like XOXO, love this person. No, if it's customized, kind of no. If it's something that is just generic, then okay, whatever. Who the fuck cares, right? If it's like a butter knife, it's like, okay, well, who cares? It doesn't have their name on it. Like you probably don't think about them, But if it's like a picture and it's intimate, probably a little more of a problem. So yeah, and the other question that a lot of people have brought up, you guys are bringing up in the chat, is whether or not she was drunk during or intoxicated during this testimony. It does kind of look in a way like she might be on something in general, but it also, by the way, guys, might just be her decades of drug use, because this girl has clearly used a hell of a lot of drugs, and cocaine, in the words of Rick James, is a hell of a drug. Definitely will alter your look permanently. All right, let me get to a couple of these chats here. So shout out to, we had Cynthia McKenzie becoming a member. Thank you for becoming a member. You now have access to the emojis, the soju bottle, the toilet, the cat girl, vampire girl, Andrew, Adam, good emojis all. So thank you for that, Cynthia. Had one from Venon who said the trial is over. Amber Heard is getting roasted on every platform. Where is Jeff? Jeff will be back not tonight because he has a company party. There's these things called Hwashik in Korea. So there's these company dinners. If you've been to Japan or Korea, it's very big to have these company dinners. So he's got one big company dinner today he's got to attend. So that he's going to be attending tonight. I've said it many times, many ways. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Damn straight, Mike. Damn straight, Mike. You cannot turn that hoe into the housewife. All right, guys. So let me just jump into it because I want to give you my prediction now because we're at an hour and 15. So I want to give you my prediction. We'll listen to a little bit more, but let me drop my prediction here. So you guys waited for it. I'm going to drop it here. Here is the prediction I'm going to make on the outcome. The two major witnesses were Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. The burden was on those witnesses to move the needle. Now, I'm not believing this animal abuse shit from Whitney. I'm just not believing it. It does not come off to me as credible at all whatsoever. It just does not come off as credible. Therefore, and I think that between the animal abuse allegation, which I think is a new allegation, that's something we hadn't heard before from anybody. It's meant to tug on people's heartstrings, But frankly, if you want to talk about abusing animals, Amber is the one who literally took a shit on the bed and tried to blame it on Boo and Pistol. I mean, this is ridiculous. To think that Johnny is going to torture a small animal, that's a special level of demented. I don't think anybody is buying that. Now, we didn't get to the cross yet, but the cross didn't really negate that. But that's okay. They can destroy Whitney on redirect. They can destroy it when they have a chance to present without them being able to come up with a story or lie. Because Whitney, like her sister, is going to lie. And her credibility, because we just heard in the testimony, and we hear it again and again, that she uses drugs, that she has used drugs. So Amber's own case, her style of saying that people who use drugs are not reliable negates Whitney. And today, after Amber Heard bombed yesterday, and it is irrefutable that she bombed, Camille Vasquez destroyed Amber yesterday. They needed today to be strong and to come out there and destroy Johnny. But they did not do that. And for that reason, because Amber came out, she spoke in her testimony, her cross completely nuked her credibility. It literally dropped a nuke on her credibility because she's shot. I am at 90%. Yes, I said that right. I did not stutter. 90% this goes to Johnny Depp. Amber's counterclaims are fully dismissed. I think the verdict is in the neighborhood between $10 and $20 million. I think she's done. I think she is absolutely 100% done. 90% certainty on this verdict. So I'm calling it right now, guys. You heard it here. Depp gets it. 10 to 20 million, calling it today. The other huge factor you got to remember is the jury. Guys, every report from everybody's been there. Christina, who's been here in my chat, Ian, Lawn Lumber, DY guy, every single one of them consistently has said the same thing. The jury fucking hates Amber Heard. They're tuned out to her team. They are not paying attention. They are not focusing on her. They are zoned out during this really boring video testimony. They're not buying Whitney's bullshit. Not buying it at all. So I'm really thinking they're going to go with him there. Is this your legal opinion? Well, technically, nothing is my legal opinion because I'm not in a case. I'm not the attorney, right? So I can't give it a legal opinion here because Johnny's not my client, Amber's not my client. But as a lawyer, using all my legal knowledge and expertise, yes, this is my opinion. It's not a personal opinion. I have no personal stake in the outcome here. But based on everything I know as a lawyer, I will say this is a case that should go based on all the factors, the totality of the circumstances, the public sentiment. By the way, social media, let's be clear, social media has turned. Social media, even the mainstream networks are having to acknowledge Johnny's side. In the beginning, they were really on Amber's side, but they have flipped around. They've turned everything. The ship has corrected. And because social media is turning, because the jury is not believing their bullshit, because Amber is not credible, because the witnesses are not credible, because there was no bombshell today to turn it around. This was largely a big nothing burger. And because of that, my prediction is Johnny 90%. And I'll stick by that, guys. I'll stick by that. Also, yes, perjury, but they're never going to get her for perjury, by the way. They don't get anybody for perjury. Guys, if you like this, if you like to hear me coming out here, putting my ass on the line, please hit the like button. Smash it right here. That really helps me in the algorithm. It really helps me. Make sure you're subscribed, guys. Guys, I'll be reading Howell's testimony tonight. My tonight, your tomorrow morning. So 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll be reading that testimony bright and early before the trial. We'll be reading that out. Jay said, no witness is credible. No witness is credible when they admit that over 4 or 5 years, Amber herself did not have some serious issues or ever behave badly or hurt Johnny. Trying to make her the only victim is what's sinking her. Jay, thank you so much. They are trying to make her sound like, literally, the story on closing is exactly what Jay says here. As Johnny's attorney, Camille can get up there. Camille Velasquez can get up there and say, they want you to believe that Johnny is lying. That all the witnesses you saw, Isaac, everybody else, all the witnesses are lying, except for maybe some of Amber's stories. But even Amber's witnesses, she wants you to believe that their version of the story is not quite true. To believe Amber's version of the story. The only way that they really win is if Amber's crazy whale tale of a story is true. It's preposterous. And for those reasons, you got to conclude in favor of my client, Johnny Depp. That's what Camille should say. That's how she should do it. Simple, easy. I mean, to me, it's almost a layup because of how Amber testified, because she put herself in this position. She created this situation. Jill's View says, I like to see Johnny Depp get at least the amount he paid for the divorce settlement. Well, that's why I said between 10 and 20 million. Between 10 and 20 million. I don't think he's going to go. Over it. By the way, they can't award more than the 50 million he's asking for. It's not going to happen. Like that rarely ever happens. Rarely ever happens. But if she was ruled against for 20 million, she'll be paying that the rest of her life. She doesn't have that money. She'd be giving back the divorce money to Johnny Depp at that point. She'd be paying her back, which, by the way, would be just funny if she's paying back what she got in the divorce, those ill-gotten gains. The hammering on Johnny's substance use isn't winning the strategy Amber's team is thinking it is. The average person does not find celeb drug use shocking. The average person doesn't find drug use shocking. Guys, you guys know, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but all of you probably know somebody who's done drugs. And yeah, some of them are really bad people, but stuff like marijuana, I know people who smoke pot. I know lawyers that still smoke pot. I know lawyers that are really great title attorneys and smoke a ton of pot. I know attorneys that are hooked on Adderall. I know attorneys that do cocaine. I've seen them do it, right? I don't participate in these things, but I've seen them do it. And look, hey, it's Miami, no judgment. They're going to do it. That's their life to fuck up, right? That's my view on this channel. Be your own judge. Run your own life. But understand, if you are using drugs like that, there's serious consequences. Serious consequences. Maverick, thank you for that. Butterfly Ninja says, do you think Johnny Depp's lawyer will ask Depp about the acting coach talking about Amber Heard told her he cut off his finger with a broken bottle? It's possible. It's very possible. I think they should definitely bring back up Johnny and have him clarify some of these things. Because I think Johnny's testimony, when they bring him back up, they can bring him back up on redirect. I think that will be good. I think Johnny should get up and clarify some of these things. What do you think Johnny Depp would go through with trial without the TV coverage? Honestly, I think they would have gaslit us. Without TV coverage, I think the mainstream media would have gaslit us. Guys, we're seeing this with these trials. We need these trials to be televised because look at cases like Rittenhouse. We literally had lies out there. Stuff like the guns crossing state lines, the fact that any of the people who were shot in self-defense, of course, but any of the people that were shot were black. These just like straight up lies that were put out there in the mainstream media. And well, we saw all those things weren't true. In fact, it was a clear case of self-defense. In here, we're seeing with this case, we had lies about Johnny Depp. We had multiple lies about Johnny Depp. And until we got these television coverage, we're not seeing they're true. And we're also not being able to see how these witnesses are unreliable. Here's the problem with cancel culture, with this issue, is that you need to be able to look at the witnesses on TV and say, I don't trust this person. I look at Io, who looks like literally Gollum from Lord of the Rings. If you haven't seen my post there, he's not a reliable witness. And that's something you can only tell from looking at him. But if you say, oh, a writer for the New York Times said this, well, you wouldn't know that he literally looks like a slime ball. Like I would not even go near that thing, you know. It's disgusting. It's crazy to me, man. The most traumatic thing about when you go through this stuff is a challenge all you knew. Even what a human being is, how, why. Yeah, this makes you really evaluate yourself. And one thing I'm glad about this trial is that shout out to people in Gainesville. What's up? Yes, I'm a Gator. So let me do my little Gator, my little chomp there for you guys. A lot of FSU fans out there, which is fine. I've met a couple hot FSU girls in my day, but I am a Gainesville man. But yeah, Leanne says he will have to have her wages garnished since she does not know the difference between pledges and paid. That's so true. That's so true. If she gets any jobs, here's the problem. I don't think Amber's going to be able to get anything. I think she's booted out of Aquaman. I think they clip her out. I think she's done. I think she's just done after this. She just looks too bad. She's too toxic for the industry. And I don't use that word often, but in this case, Amber Heard is toxic. Carol Ann says, my ex had a couple of paintings I did for him hanging in his house, but they're cool and not lovey-dovey. He's not hung about me though. Oh, that's fine. Carolyn, I think that's fine. I mean, honestly, if they're like neutral paintings and like you can't tell they're from you and there's no XOXO and you're not like making out in the photo, I don't think it's a huge deal. Like if you're painting like a landscape or some whatever, like a fish, you know, like your dog or whatever, it's not a big deal. I mean, that's not something that's intimate, that's personalized. That's my personal take on it. So after that, Toshi had, as a lawyer, do you guys deal with this level of BS all the time? Toshi, we deal with this level and worse than this level. I have dealt with so much bullshit over my career as a lawyer. I've been a lawyer almost actually over 10 years now. This level of bullshit is on the regular. People lie often as lawyers. And part of being a lawyer is calling out the liars, separating that out and coming to a solution. Now, I am more behind the scenes. I'm not the attorney that goes to trial. I try to avoid the trial, get to the negotiated settlement, get to the root of the issue, prevent the trials from happening, literally own the people before they get to court. It's much more cost efficient to do that. Going to court is expensive. People like Johnny Depp have the funds to go to court. You know, regular Joes, I mean, you, me, whatever, even as a lawyer, I don't have the money to go to court and fight a battle like that. I don't. That's millions of dollars total. I mean, Johnny Depp has definitely spent millions of dollars on this case. We don't have that type of money. So what you want to do is avoid court. You want to be smart. And on my channel, what I try to do is teach you how to be your own judge and how to avoid these situations. Avoid the Amber Heards. You know the best preventative to stop Amber Heard? Don't date her in the first place. Avoid those people in the first place. And I hope people learn these lessons. I hope you guys see the red flags and avoid people like that, men and women. Although I will say men tend to fall for it more. They get tricked by it more. Nicole says, he's been accused of reactionary abuse. But what do you expect of him when he was never allowed to leave down an escalated situation? He couldn't leave to calm down. Exactly. What you're supposed to do is to calm down. And he was kept from doing that. He was literally trapped. What you're supposed to do is remove yourself from those situations, but he was never allowed to do that. That's exactly right, Nicole. And I talked about this with Jeff yesterday, but when men are trapped in a corner, our instinct is fight or flight. And if you're taking flight off the table, what's our last instinct? What's the only other instinct we have? It's fight. Johnny Depp exercised extreme self-control to not actually destroy this woman based on what she said to him. In that evil cackling demon video we heard, frankly, a lot of men would have backhanded her. If she was trapping him so he can't escape, berating him like that. And by the way, men or women, if this was two women and it was a woman-on-woman relationship, the woman with the other woman in that situation, when you're trapped, like you said, it's a reaction. But Johnny Depp didn't even do that. At most, he moved her out of the way, is his testimony, and I believe that's very credible. Did Amber Heard claim Johnny Depp cut his finger while smashing a phone, but acting coach said he cut it with a broken bottle? Yep. Conflicting testimony. Guys, this is the whole thing. The stories aren't lining up. And this is the problem for Amber Heard, is this stuff is not lining up. The stories are out of place. Yeah. And Sir Madden says, right, both men and women need to recognize narcissists and stay away. Yes. And I hope, guys, I really hope if this trial does one thing, it should teach you to keep these people out of your life. I really hope it does that. Bewitching Butte says, will the judge in this case give jurors instructions similar to a criminal case? If she does, will she remind them what the case is about? Can Johnny file a second defamation based on, no. There would need to be additional after this. So if there were other lies about this that came out after this, she publishes after this case, then yes. But if it's up to this point or stuff that was in time before this, I don't think they're going to bring another defamation case. I think this is a done deal after this. It's getting too distant. Now, if Amber Heard comes out and does more lies now, after let's say Johnny gets a ruling in her favor, well, then it might be per se defamation because we've already established that it's defamatory. So it'd be in much bigger trouble. In terms of the jury instructions, so it's not going to be like a criminal case like reasonable doubt. Obviously, that's not the standard. The standard is not reasonable doubt. It's preponderance of the evidence. So think of a 50% plus one standard versus a 99.99999% standard. So in terms of the burden of proof, that's different. But there are jury instructions. So there is a jury instructions part of the trial, which we will get to. That is material. And it's very important. Jury instructions are very, very important. But it's going to be a little different in terms of the details versus a criminal trial. All right, guys, let me catch. I had some super chats from my last one that I want to catch. So let me just do them right quick. I'm just going to read them. There was one from Mandrake, which says, actually, I can show you guys these. So this is actually a kind of cool feature. So let me just show you guys these super chats here. So there's one from Mandrake, which says, congrats, 40.2K, just got back. You're over the top 50K. Thank you very much for that. Congratulations on the milestone. Put the hat back on and tell us there's a snake in your boots. I put the hat over there. I'll get the cowboy hat later, guys. Just heard someone on TV call yesterday a marathon of impeachment. Yes, Camille did a marathon of impeachment indeed. Amber Heard didn't pay $6 million. She called upon the power of Satan to turn a hen into a lawyer. Do you know what causes scar tissues? Cocaine. Yep. Accurate. BPD is antisocial. Those BPD are antisocial. They isolate you from all support and abuse you until you're broken. Dr. Curry should hammer on this during rebuttal. Johnny brought all of Amber Heard's family and friends to live with him. Who's the abuser? Amber Heard. That is very true. He literally helped them all. They were freeloaders who were ungrateful. What's up with the deputy taking Amber's water bottle from the trash? By the way, we jump out of helicopters, not planes. All right, well, awesome. I'm happy to take that helicopter ride. I will not jump out of a perfectly good helicopter either. But I will take the helicopter ride. What's up with deputy? I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe there was something in it. I have no clue. She paid $6 million for a Dollar Tree lawyer. Elaine is horrible, guys. Amica cream with a tone of catnip and desperation. Love it, guys. All right, so that was from yesterday. So now we're caught up on yesterday's. Guys, I don't make sure to forget anybody. Patrick, I'm going to get caught up on that. I wanted to make sure I get everything. This trial's been crazy. Guys, on my legalmindset.locals.com, my private community, we do a book club where we read a book every month. So I'm like sorting through the ones that have been suggested, and I'm going to put up a poll soon to get us started on that. But this trial is obviously taking a lot of my time and attention because everybody's interested in it. So that's why I'm covering that. But I will be getting back to that, guys. We do some reading there. Thank you, John, for the $5 super chat. Low Pro says, Ian says Elaine was acting like she was happy with Whitney's performance. Could have been performative. Tinfoil theory. Amber is such a cunt. Elaine is going to laugh to her cats when Amber Heard loses. Guys, Elaine gets paid whether or not there's a win or a loss here. So Elaine is getting paid regardless. So, and I'm sure they took a retainer from her because I'm sure they don't trust her. So Elaine is getting paid. So it is not such a crazy theory to think that Elaine does not like them. Also, allegedly, in the hallway, there's a rumor that they got into a fight, that Amber Heard and Elaine got into a fight, and they said when they were fighting, because Amber Heard was saying that you're a shit lawyer, Elaine, you're crap. Now I'm just making this up, but I'm sure it was along the line of go back to your fucking 32 cats. But Elaine apparently said, verbatim, said, if you don't like it, go fucking represent yourself. Apparently Elaine said that. Go fucking represent yourself. I'm not surprised. I've heard that one before. I've heard lawyers say that before. I've been in the courtroom with people that said that before. Now, and once again, I'm usually like observing the trials because I'm the corporate attorney who's like, okay, like this is how we avoid this trial in the future. But I've heard people say that, especially people who are on the other side of the parties that I'm representing, because the parties that I'm representing typically win. New York says, what is Elaine trying to achieve or avoid by starting her question with what, if any, every time? It bugs me so much. Hello from Korea. Hey, what's up? Yes, Juan, 20,000 Juan. Appreciate that, brother. Cheers to you in Korea. I really shout out to you, Korea. You can see I've got my like Korean messages back here. You know, we got no minors, we got CCTV, we got everything there. So what's up? Good to see a fellow Korean here, or somebody who's in Korea. I think the point is, what, if any, is meant to get around leading. So here's the thing with what, if any. So what is kind of leading? So if I said, what did you see Johnny do on the day of January 10th? Well, that implies that he did something. But if you say, what, if anything, did he do? Then you could say, well, I didn't see anything. Because the if anything is there. But I hate that. I think it's a shitty way to frame it. I think it's a Dollar Tree lawyer way to frame it. It's not good. It's really not good. So I don't like that. Lee says, Gators, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you, Andrew. Go Dogs. Actually, you know what's funny? I actually know a lot of, honestly, I actually dated a girl who went to University of Georgia. So I got no beef with Georgia. Honestly, as much as it is like, I've gone to the football games, whatever, it may be heresy, but I got no problem with Georgia. I know a lot of really cute Georgia girls, so I have no beef with them. I'd still smash. Dreamer says, why are the friends and sisters asked if the abuse is real? Why did they sacrifice Amber Heard for a penthouse apartment and private jets? See, moochers gone wild. Yeah, here's the thing. Guys, I'm going to say this. This is another lesson. Don't let these moochers into your life because they will use you for the private jets, for the penthouse, for the access, and they will discard you. This is a tale as old as time. Hollywood, your friends in Hollywood are not your real friends. They are moochers. They are leechers who only like you because of your money. And this is the curse of money, is that when you have it, you never know. It's hard to know who's wanting you and liking you for the money or not. And Amber is no exception here. Amber was a clout chaser. Amber was chasing Johnny for the money, for the status. Do you think it's possible that her friends are lying for Amber because they are scared of retribution, secrets they don't want to expose? That's very possible. Also, here's the thing. They've already testified in the UK. I think here's the thing with a lot of these friends and people. If they backtrack now, they've committed perjury. They've committed a crime. And because they've already lied for Amber and potentially filed false records, made false statements, they're kind of fucked. I think they have to like perpetuate their lies. The problem is the lies aren't adding up. The stories aren't adding up. But I think at this point, there's possible perjury. In fact, I would say there definitely is perjury if they come out and change. Vernon says, do you like how the acting coach ass-sploded Amber Heard with trouble crying? Lol, here's your so love you long time money. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. This is not, Korea is not love you long time territory, by the way. This isn't Saigon after like the fall, you know, when like the North Vietnamese were coming in. Like this is a very respectable land nowadays, guys. But they will buy me some good soju in ETH Wallet. That'll be good. I got to go out drinking this week. This has been a long week, guys. I'm probably going to do like a drinking vlog this weekend because this shit has taxed me. I'm not going to lie, guys. This shit has taxed me. But yeah. The stories are contradicting, and they're trying to set up these narratives which are totally not true. Naresh says, what do you think of Rebecca's cross? Okay, I'm going to be honest. It kind of sucked. It kind of sucked. So I'm not saying like, honestly, she's not great. Camille is a fucking G. Camille is a monster. This attorney who... forget if it's, I think Nick calls her Luddo from fucking Labyrinth, but she's not that great. But once again, I think that Whitney will be destroyed on redirect. I guarantee you, guys, I guarantee you, look for it, wait for it. And I will say, I told you so. You'll see me with the whiteboard and it's going to say, I told you so on the whiteboard because they are going to get her on redirect. Trust me. Beauty in her brain says, please check your Twitter message. Super important. Thank you. Okay, I'll check it in a second. But I always check them, guys. I may not be able to play it. We'll see what it is that you sent me, but I'll check it right now. Okay. So appreciate that. Bewitching says, I believe if any injuries happened to Amber Heard, they were self-inflicted. So of course she's not going to seek medical attention. Just saying. Yes, of course. Of course. In fact, you know what I'll do here for a second while I'm checking these Twitter messages? I'm going to run the cross for a second. So yes, do a drinking stream. Yeah, I know. Guys, do you see how much alcohol I have? Like, okay. So I've still got some of my makgeolli. This is like the Korean rice wine. Here, this is really good stuff. I've got my signature move, guys. If you don't know about Korea, right? We've got the soju, right? We've got the soju. This is the most popular drink in Korea is soju. 1 or 2 bottles. If you're a girl, 1 bottle of this will fuck you up. 2 bottles of this will get you pretty good. 3 bottles, you'll be drunk for sure. And then of course I've got the liter, the mega pint of Cass here. So I've got enough drinks here, guys. I'm stocked up. I've got alcohol. I've got whiskey over there. I got no problem pouring myself a mega pint. Don't worry about that, guys. You guys got me. No food in your fridge. That's because I ate it all, bro. I ate it all. All right. So let me play this play this testimony. I'm going to try to skip to the cross here because I want to get that information out there. Let's see. I'm playing the testimony just to see the questions here because I think this is it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Just got to make sure this is actually the right portion that I want to jump to. This the video that I'm getting is from ET Canada. It's pretty clean. And the one thing that we got to worry about, guys, this is like the biggest problem for law tubers and everybody right now. Is that there's some channels that will copyright strike us. So it's definitely a concern. Okay, so I'm going to play some of this while I check my Twitter here so you guys can.
Houses. I took pictures just so he could be aware of what he would need to bring. I didn't know if he had tools here or whatever. I was just preparing him for what he was going to have to fix.
But you didn't take any pictures of your sister that day, right?
No, I didn't.
Now, after March 2015, you continued to have a close relationship with Mr. Depp, right?
Yes,
And you still loved him.
of course,
And you were there for him if he needed you, right?
of course.
And in fact, just a couple of weeks after that staircase incident, you were still acting as the marriage counselor, weren't you?
At some point, sure.
And that fall, after the staircase incident, October 2015, you claim you had seen Mr. Depp hitting your sister. And then in October 2015, you were actually still trying to reconcile him and your sister when they were fighting, right?
Yes, I was asked to support. I was just trying to help what I thought they both wanted. I was just trying to support, or trying my best to support them the way that I thought I could.
You still loved Mr. Depp at that point, right?
I did.
And you didn't think that he and your sister were past the point of no return, right?
What I thought was irrelevant at that point. Those two were in love and they were working very hard. They wanted to be together, it seemed like. So I just helped as best as I could. I don't know how else to describe it.
Your sister still wanted to be with Mr. Depp, right?
And she loved him.
And you didn't think they were past the point of no return.
I don't know what you mean by that exactly.
Okay. Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1283. It's not yet in evidence. We'll just show that to the witness. I've got this. If I might approach, Your Honor. I have
Okay,
this.
so none of this cross has been too great, but I just want to let that play for you guys for a second. Okay, so I've got the tweets that you guys sent me. A lot of really good stuff here, guys. A lot of really good stuff. So let me read these 2 super chats and I'll get to the tweets because you guys actually sent me some really good stuff. So during redirect, might we discover the black eyes were mistaken for blood? Bruh, oh my God. Hey, it's very possible if it's Amber. Let me just be clear right now. Her next job may be the casting couch. And a $10 super chat. Oh, from Venom. That's about the drinking stream. All right. Let me show you guys what you guys sent me on Twitter because you guys sent me some fucking bombs on Twitter. Like, I'm sitting here like, whoa, bro. Like, this is pretty crazy. So here's one that was sent to me that I think is pretty insane. This is Andy Signori, right? So apparently they cut this part out where there's allegedly a 3-way with Elon Musk and Cara Delevingne. Let's hear this one. Let's see. Is there audio?
Did Rocky tell you that Amber Heard was having an affair with Cara Delevingne while she was still married to Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Did she ever tell you that the 3 of them, Elon Musk, Cara Delevingne, spent the night with Amber in November of 2016?
To the specific date, I can't say.
Did she ever tell you in words or substance while Amber was still married to Johnny Depp that the 3 of them, Amber Heard, Elon Musk, and Cara Delevingne, spent the night together?
Yes.
So they were having a 3-way affair,
My
correct?
understanding, yes.
Whoa, 3-way. Okay, I did not know about the 3-way, guys. That was new information for me. The 3-way was new information for me. Be like, Carrie has another hoe. I mean, did you guys know about the 3-way in the chat? I mean, damn, Elon. Bro. Elon definitely smashed for sure. But yeah, that's crazy, guys. If you guys knew about that, let me know. I did not know about that part. That was new news for me. So thank you for sending that one to me. That was enlightening. That was very enlightening, guys. That was one I did not know about at all. Some of the other ones that you guys sent me right now, I will try to pull up. So you guys sent me the identity of the husband because apparently there's good information on kind of who the husband is. So apparently there's like an age gap with the husband who's Gavin Henriquez. So he's apparently like an older dude, and there's a pretty decent age gap there. So there's the guy, right? There's the kid. I think this is an article on like who he is. So, here you go. So apparently, she's describing her sister as, brilliant, blah, blah, blah. But Gavin Henriquez must have been astonished to hear the recent allegation of his wife teaching Johnny Depp how to snort cocaine. Because, yes, that's an actual allegation. So, and I'm reading this for the first time, guys. So Whitney Heard's husband, Gavin Henriquez, is a Texas resident. So I guess he's a doctor or he lives in Texas. I don't get that, like resident, but whatever. Like her older sister, the Texas native dabbled in acting. Oh, okay, there you go. And according to her IMDb page, Whitney Heard, aka Whitney Henriquez, only acting credit is in 2000 film Homo Erectus, because she looks uninvolved. She's the younger sister who testified to back up the claims. Let's see here. Furthermore, she also controlled the people that she saw in her medical treatment. She said abusers frequently utilize this method to isolate and terrorize their victims. Okay. So, Whitney Heard and her husband, Gavin Henriquez, have a minimal age gap looking at their pictures. However, their age gap between Amber Heard and Whitney is 2 years. Okay. 2 children, right? Okay, there you go at that time. Let's see. Is there anything else about the husband? Nope, that's pretty much it. So, I mean, not much information in this article about the husband. Doesn't seem like he's anybody crazy that he's, got any links. I don't know. Do you guys see anything else about the husband? I mean, that article didn't give much information on it. Just shows who he is. Does it seem too nefarious? But also, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And if there was more to that article, I don't know. So you guys sent me that article. Good to know who he was. Good to see him. I appreciate that one. Also, you guys sent me some decent memes too. I appreciate the memes always, guys. The memes are always great. And some decent tweets. Let me share these out. So here's one of the memes. This is a good one. It's a solid meme right here. Then this one right here. from Hey KB says, didn't Josh say that Rocky told him to go back to their penthouse and wait? So he wasn't there when Johnny Depp left. That would have given Rocky and Amber time to take the actions to perpetuate their hoax before the cops came. Thoughts? Guys, I have no doubt in my mind, zero doubt in my mind, that there was staging going on here. There was 100% staging going on here. Absolutely, without a doubt. And guys, make sure you're smashing the like button and subscribing. It will help hosts from becoming housewives. I'm laughing here. Do you have a cartoon girlfriend in Korea? No, quite a real one. Quite a real one. I prefer 3D over 2D. That's my personal opinion. Some people like the 2D waifus. I do not judge them. French says, they had a three-way while drinking champagne. Oh, no. Oh, the puns. The puns are striking back. Guys, you know it's over when it's getting punny. You know it's over when it's getting pretty punny. All right, guys. I'm going to review this declaration. I really need to get to reviewing that. We're at 2 hours here. I really love you guys. Once again, my prediction is that Johnny is going to win this thing. He's going to win this thing. I'm going to look at all the information you guys have sent me. If you have anything else, anything I didn't cover, send it to my Twitter, send it to my Instagram. Let me look over it. I'm going to be back tonight again for a pre-show. We're going to go over the Jennifer Howell document. I'm going to read it, everything that you guys have sent me, read it in full, analyze it, break that down. Guys, it should be great. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for catching me this time. If you like it, once again, smash the like button. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I will catch you later. Stay based.